Hey fly tires, welcome back. My name is Matt, thanks for stopping by the channel. Now tonight I'm going to be getting back to a really classic old school wet fly. This one is Hardy's favorite. Yes, the John Hardy from the famed Hardy reel. He came up with this pattern in 1872, so it is almost 150 years old. Now you can find this pattern in any number of places online. I got it from Claude Chartrand's book, The Art of Fly Tying. Now if any of you watching this have this book, I'd be shocked. It was last printed in 1996. You can still find it used on Amazon for about $3, but it's a great book. There's some great pictures, some great recipes in it, and look at Claude, sitting at his bench with the old burl wood pipe. And anybody who can pull off this necklace while he so intently focuses on whip finishing this gray ghost, this guy is a fly tyer. So if you haven't checked out this book, consider it. As a fly tyer, it might be the best $3 you've spent. Now let's get back to tonight's fly. The Hardy's favorite has all the materials I like in a fly. It's got golden pheasant tippets for the tail. It's got peacock herl rib. It's got a little bit of partridge and some mottled turkey wing for the wing. Now it is a winged wet fly, so it's not all that easy to get it right, but it's not that difficult. I think most beginners can handle this fly. I think you're gonna like it. Let's get started. So there it is in the vise, Hardy's favorite. I'm gonna be tying this on a size 10 wet fly hook. Common sizes on this are 6 to 12. I'm going to lay down a base of black 70 denier UTC all the way back to the bend. Now our tail, golden pheasant tippets. Pick a size feather where you can get maybe 2 of the barbs showing. I think that looks good. Tail length is going to be a little bit longer than a hook gap, not quite as long as the body of the fly. So I will hold it right there and then pull these out. Check my position again. I think that's going to work right there. So let's go ahead and catch these in. Before we lock it in, take a look. Okay, I like that. Now go ahead and just bury these in with touch and turns all the way up. Okay, once you got your head back, or your thread back up toward the head, take 1 strand of peacock herl. I'm going to catch it in at the thick end. I'll go ahead and snip off a little bit of that. But what I do, I will tie this in all the way from the front, just so I don't have a lump at the back. So I'm going to catch this in and then take my thread all the way to the back, keeping it parallel on this side of the hook, all the way toward the back. Okay, that's still a pretty smooth body. I'm going to take my thread back up to the front and catch in my red or dark red or burgundy floss. Whatever you got will look good on this thing. Now this is multi-strand floss, so you might need to lick your fingers, get it together right there. Okay, catch that in. You can pull that down. I've got a scraggly fiber sticking out, so I'm going to go ahead and snip this. And it's still got a little scraggly there, but that will get buried soon enough. So I'm going to take this red floss and wrap it down flat all the way down to the tail and then back up. Now I want it to wrap flat, but if it starts getting too wide on me, I will give it a little clockwise spin to tighten it back up. But if you can make it flat without it getting too wide, it will make a smoother body. Now be careful with the point of your hook back here. If you nick this floss, it will spread out on you and make a big mess. Okay, when you're happy enough with your body, smooth enough, no black showing through, go ahead and catch that off with a couple of turns. and snip off this floss right there. I want to take a couple extra wraps just to bury that in. Now here's the fun part, wrapping this peacock herl. Just, evenly spaced wraps, not too close together. Take your time here and take it all the way up to the front. Okay, when you got that caught in at the top, go ahead and you could probably break this off, but I'm going to just snip it. Now the next component is our throat. Some brown or ginger partridge. So just a small little slip of partridge. We're going to tie it in. It's not going to be long, so take about 8 or 10 fibers right there. Just pull those out. It's not going to go all the way to the point of the hook. Probably about like that. So make sure your thread is hanging where you want the back of your head to be. So it's right there. I'm going to turn my hook over, catch this in right here. 1 or 2 medium wraps, just to check my position before I really secure it. Make sure they're coming off the bottom like you want and about the length you want. So that is the length I want, but they're not coming exactly off the bottom. They're a little bit skewed to one side, so I'm going to work on that before I really secure it. I think that's going to work right there. I'm going to put a couple medium wraps, now a couple of tight wraps. Okay. So while it's still upside down, I'm going to reach in here and snip this excess off. Okay, now let's just try and clean this up a little bit before we put our wing on. Now the wing on this guy is mottled turkey feather. Now what you can do, here's a convenient tip. If you're having problems getting the right size slip, take your feather and take the hook for the size you're using, and it's going to be hard to it's not that hard to do. It's kind of hard to do when I'm showing it on a camera. So put your hook up in there and then just poke it through and then pull it down. That's about the right size slip you want right there. When you get 2 from a left and a right feather, just try to line up the tips like that right there. And it's going to be about to the bend of the hook, maybe halfway. If you've got it long enough, you can go halfway down the tail. I'm going to do it about right there. I think that will look good. They will flare up just a little on you. So again, put your thread where you want the back of your head to be. So it's right there. And I'm going to do a pinch wrap right here, kind of loose, and then pull tight. Hold tight with my material hand as I pull up on my thread. Now, take a look at it. It's starting to spin on me a little bit, so I'm just going to put a loose wrap right there and then get it situated before I put any really tight wraps. I think that's going to look okay right there, so I'm going to hold it tight with my material hand and then put a couple more wraps going tighter as I get forward. Okay, and check your position again. It's not too late to change it if you want. So I think that's going to look okay right there. Oh, my throat's sticking back a little bit. Let's see if we can pull that down. Sure, that looks okay. Now, just reach in here and get these as close as you can get it, the butt ends of this turkey quill. And maybe push it up with your fingernail a little bit before we wrap the head. Now take your thread right back behind the eye, a few wraps, and I'm going to build this ramp. Okay, I think we can get away with that. We're ready for a whip finish. And then our UV resin or head cement will fill in that thread nicely. So 4 or 5 turns right here. snip this thread if we've got any cleanup. Now's the time to do it. We don't have too much cleanup. Got a little bit of fibers coming off right there. But there you go, folks. A 130-year-old fly pattern called the Hardy's Favorite. Came over from England. Pretty fun one to tie. Pretty cool looking fly. So I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time.